When you use create or update a record action from the action framework, you have a few options for field value source. In this video, I break down the 3 most popular options and help you decide when and how to use each of those options based on your build requirements. First, single specified value. Here's an example. You have a table with opportunities data. You have a row action to create a new line item, and you would like to pass the opportunity ID of the row in context to the new line item. Once you have the Create New Rows action selected, choose Single Specified Value from the Field Value Source dropdown, and for the value, enter bracket bracket ID closing bracket bracket. The bracket bracket merge syntax is how Skuid knows to pass data instead of hard-coding the little word ID into your field. You want to be exact with the field ID, so double-check the fields to make sure you're entering the correct field ID. This is an important concept because this is how you will pass data in context from a model to another, which you will do very often in Skuid. When you view the page, you'll see that your new line item now has the ID of the selected opportunity. Next, you will choose Result of a formula if you need to manipulate the data before passing it on, whether it be in a calculation, text transformation, or model lookup. For example, if you would like the opportunity line item to have the service date to be exactly 7 days after the opportunity's close date, you can create a formula using the dateAdd function to generate and populate the service date field. The last option that I'll go over in this video is Field from another model, which is another very common option for field value source when creating or updating a record. Here's a scenario. Your company has a discount percentage that's updated often. You have a third model to store this discount percentage data called Today Discount. Back to your opportunity table. When you create a new line item for an opportunity, you would like to refer to today's discount percentage and use it for your line item's discount field. So after choosing Field from another model, you will select Today Discount model and the discount field as a source for your line item's discount. The difference between Field from another model and Single Specified Value is that you will often use Single Specified Value to pass data in context, like a row that the user clicks on. You use Field from another model if you don't want to pass data in context, and instead, you want to pass data from a specific model. Note that Field from another model will always refer to the first row of the source model, regardless of how many rows there are in that model. If you have 3 rows in your discount model, it will always pass along the discount amount from the first row. And that's it for this week's tip. If you're curious about how to use the rest of the field value source options, refer to Skuid documentation that we'll link below. Thanks for watching and see you next time.